Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unscripted and Unchained, and this is yet another unboxing of Dungeons and Dragons basic box set. I believe this particular one is either 1980 or 1981. A recent purchase online on eBay, and I am going to open up the box and we'll take a look at it together and see if it is everything that I was expecting. Now, the reason why I wanted to get this this particular edition is because this is the edition of the game that I started with. I might have played my friends earlier on, before this, but this is the first one that I actually purchased myself, and I know on on eBay the seller was saying that he believed it to be a complete set. And based on the photographs and everything that I looked at, it certainly does appear to be a complete set. And I'm just going to take it apart here and see. There's shrink wrap is kind of a pain in the neck. It's actually saran wrap. It's not really shrink wrap. Let's take out the knife again. There we go. Oh my gosh, what a pain. All right, here we go. All right. So here it is. TSR's Dungeons and Dragons, very early basic edition. And looking at the box, you can see the box is actually in, I'd say, very good condition. I'll hold this up here, and you can kind of see it's pretty well formed looking. Tiny bit of wear right here, not really anything major. So certainly the top of the box is perfectly fine. Now this is something that you don't see too often. I don't believe is that it's actually even the original plastic bag, but these are the original. These are the original dice. Bad glare. Let's see if I can fix that glare a little bit. So there you have the original dice. The D4 looks slightly different. I'm not sure if that's part of the original set, but you can actually see the color difference there. So not exactly sure if the D4 was, but this is certainly the D4 is certainly the original type. You can tell that they really don't make dice like that. I know these are the original crayons, and this one here potentially never used. So let's see. So we have the Keep in the Borderlands, and here's the booklet of it, and show you the binding. And once again, I mean, of all the D&D modules, this is, not just the fact that it's one of the first, or if not the first, that comes in the box sets, but I recall us using this adventure over and over again just using the maps that are in it over and over again. And our our gaming group had gone into the Keep of the Borderlands a dozen times at least, for over a span of various levels and everything. But here's the cover, and as you can see, the cover is in excellent condition. So I'm going to open it up and show you the map. I mean, there's not a mark on this, and the corners are perfect. I mean, this is essentially, in, I'd say, mint condition. So having it in this kind of condition is really something that I was hoping to get. So we have that. Of course, I have this in PDF, so I mean, I'm going to open this up and seal it up again, and never actually use it. So so here's the Dungeons and Dragons booklet. So this is the the original book, and this is 1980. So I put on the ticker at 81, but actually this is 1980, and I mean, this is solid binding. This is not really. It certainly hasn't been bent all the way down, flattened down. So you can see once again the flex, the flexing of it, and this has not been fully opened. Now, one thing with the classes and races is that the character classes were clerics, dwarves, elves, fighters, halflings, magic users, and thieves. So some of the races of dwarves, elves, and halflings were actually the character classes. So you didn't have like a dwarven thief or a an elvish cleric. You had just the those three humanoid classes were our races were treated as classes. So that's a pretty interesting comparison if you compare that to like 5e or some of the other more more recent. I never actually played 2e through 4e. I do have 5e, but I haven't played that haven't played that yet either. So inside we have the TSR RPGA, and if you watch my previous video with Gangbusters, you notice that I also had that with the this with that particular game as well. And this is the business card, and you kind of send this in along with it, and you fold it up, you fold that up, you seal it together, and you send it out. No postage necessary. And this is a catalog. So this is a 1981 catalog for TSR products. And just looking at this very briefly, so just to go through it. So you have the basic set, and then followed by the expert set. You could purchase the booklets, both booklets separately. You had the Island of Dread. You had the Dungeons & Dragons player character sheets that you could buy separately. So, just a catalog of everything that they had, and then the hardcover books. So the advanced Dungeons & Dragons books are advertised in here as well. And so those came out in hardcover, and Dungeon Master Screen, I mean, that's the one that I had at the time too. That kind of tan colored screen with the you know, the different player characters on the cover, and maybe that's something that I try with the rest of my collection. Going on, so they have the various of adventure modules. Then oh, there's the board game dungeon, and Warlocks and Warriors was another fantasy game. Divine Right was a fantasy game, which I've never actually heard of. Knights of Camelot. Top Secret. That's another game that I'm looking to get a hold of. Boot Hill, I have it in PDF, but Boot Hill is advertised here. Gamma World is another one. Fight in the Skies, an aerial combat game. I recall playing this back then. So there's Fight in the Skies down at the bottom. And I do recall playing that back in the 80s. Snit's Revenge, Awful Green Things from Outer Space, The Fourth Dimensions. Some mini games, the Fiend Folio, first advertised in here, I'm assuming. The World of Greyhawk campaign setting. Dragon Dice and the Gen Con Game Fair. So you can see an advertisement for Gen Con. I'm not quite sure which one this would be. Possibly the, I went in 1985, and I believe that was Gen Con 18, if I got the number correctly. And then looks like T-shirts and stuff. So, I mean, everything is in great condition. So I'm very happy with this purchase. I spent a decent amount of money on it. I'm certainly satisfied with the result of the purchase, and especially considering the condition that the box is in, and the booklets are in, and the fact that it does have the dice, and I'm pretty sure that D4 is probably still original, just that it's just a slightly deeper blue color than the other, and for it to have the crown is really quite interesting. Something you normally don't see, or at least I haven't seen in many of the different collections. So once again, this is the game that really started me role playing, and to actually have a box in this condition and complete really does bring back a lot of childhood memories, and I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to pick it up. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm certainly going to play over the next couple of weeks and throw together some gaming sessions using Dungeons and Dragons, the basic edition, and look forward to seeing you all on the online and in gaming over the next couple of weekends. So you all have a good evening. Thank you.